and talking about raising the level of questions to unearth a deeper meaning, and also considering the author's purpose. All right, so raise your hands or maybe give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. How many of you have spent some time with a 3 or 4-year-old? How many of you have spent time with a 3 or 4-year-old? Okay, I see some hands and some thumbs.
I used to have this one neighbor.
God, my whole
I
life.
used to have this one neighbor, and like I lived with them for like a year, and they had like a little sister that was named Micaiah, and she was 4.
Very cool.
So I was like,
I have a brother that is 5 now, but he was 4 years.
All right, very nice. Okay,
I
so
hang out with my dog, and he's 3.
So one thing about kids that age, 3 and 4, is they ask why all the time. Why is the sky blue? Why do birds have feathers? Why? Even though it can get kind of annoying, it's also kind of exciting to see kids enter this stage of life because it means they're really starting to think and grow their brain muscle, which is similar to what we talked about yesterday when we said that readers with grit ask and mull over possible answers to big questions. Okay, so just like a 3 and 4-year-old asks why all the time, we are going to grow our brain muscle just like those little kids, okay? So today I want to teach you that readers often ask very specific, very important questions. Why did the author include that? So that's our important question we're going to focus on today, so I'll repeat it. Why did the author include that? And I'm going to repeat it one more time. Why did the author include that? Knowing that authors do things on purpose, readers gather information from the text to try to answer that question. So when you ask that question or this question, you need to ask it like it's a very, very big deal, okay? Because it is. It's the kind of question that should demand an answer. Come on, don't play with your camera, please. Thank you. I've been thinking about Stone Fox and wondering, why did the author make this story happen on a potato farm? I could just ask that question and keep reading and keep going on. Much the same way I might say to someone I pass in the hall, hey, how are you doing? And then keep walking. But no, I want to know the answer. Okay, so I want to know, why did the author make the story happen on a potato farm? Okay, so, I mean, potatoes, they just grow in the ground and they're kind of ugly. So why potatoes? In that farm, it's in the middle of nowhere. Little Willie is totally isolated. Why did the author do that? Such an important question must be answered. But if I just give the first quick answer I think of, I would still be acting like the question is small and unimportant. Instead, I want to really mull over or think over the possible answers. Not just one answer, okay, but different possibilities. Here's a tip. I want to say things like, could it be, and, or maybe it's, and remember to come up with possible answers. Readers gather information from the text. Okay, so do you remember how yesterday we went back and looked at multiple different places in Stone Fox to answer my question? Do you remember looking at that? Gabe says yes. Okay, so that's one way to gather information. Okay, so I actually started to do that work last night. Okay, like here on page 3 of Stone Fox, and I'll read it to you. It says, Little Willie lived with his grandfather on a small potato farm in Wyoming. It was hard work living on a potato farm, but it was also a lot of fun, especially when grandfather felt like playing. All right, so I'm thinking about that information. Helps me think about possible answers to my question. Could it be the author includes that setting to help show that little Willie is a hardworking kid since he's worked on a farm his whole life? Or maybe it's because the author wants to show how important little Willie and his grandfather are to each other since they're all alone together on this farm away from town. Or maybe it's because, let me use a little more grit and push for one more possible answer. Ready? Maybe the author wants to show how lonely life would be for little Willie if he lost his grandfather. Okay, I'm sure I could continue thinking about this question and try to come up with some possible answers, okay? So does that make sense, how you can come up with multiple different answers to a question you have? Give me a thumbs up. I see Gabe's thumb, and that's it. Kamaya's thumb and Irisu's thumb. And Paxton thumb and Niley's thumb. I don't see Heavenly's or Raylan's or Destiny's or Akila's. I see Raylan's. I don't see Akila's or Destiny's. All right.